The British media is intent on demonising Donald Trump. For me, I'm not an American-centric person. I quite like Donald Trump, but I don't really care that much either. It's America after all. But it does seem as if our UK media is obsessed with trying to pick up on every little problem that goes on whilst ignoring the massive problems we've got at home. So a couple of clips for you today. The first one is really a very, very strange case of people believing that America is really, really tied up with this Ukraine war, and I don't think they are at all. So check this clip out.
A muted response there from Donald Trump. We have had two White House statements about this today, and we've not heard anything from Ukraine and anything from Russia. So it does beg me to ask the question about who needs this more, Ukraine, Russia, or the USA.
The USA needs it more, or actually, Donald Trump really needs it. He made some outlandish promises about how quickly he was going to be able to do this. He wants the fighting to stop, and he just doesn't know how these peace talks stretch on and on and on, particularly when both sides are not finished fighting yet. Russia feels it's got the upper hand. Russia is they're not interested in sitting down to talk unless they get paid a lot of concessions from the United States and from Ukraine. And on the other hand, I think Zelensky also is full of fight, and he just wants to keep assistance coming so he can duke it out with the Russians. So those two parties are not ready to come to the table. Only Donald Trump is.
And a nice little knowing smile at the end while he removes the knife from the back of Donald Trump's spine. And so, yeah, let's look at that and let's have a think together about what this actually means. So this gentleman here, this Jim Townsend, he's saying that Russia has invaded Ukraine and they've been at it for 3 years now. Who knows how many people have died? The estimates are something like 1 million to 500,000. Nobody really knows what those numbers are. And this gentleman here is trying to convince us that Donald Trump is the most important thing within this, that it's really, really, really important for America that they want peace. It's far more important for America. It's not really important for Ukraine and Russia, who have men dying on the battlefield every day. But it's really important to Donald Trump's ego because he made promises on the campaign trail and he likes to look good. Well, to my mind, this is what Donald Trump cares about. Donald Trump cares about America. He cares about what he looks like to his domestic audience. He cares about American manufacturing. He cares about American stock markets. He cares about American companies. He cares about the dollar. He cares about the petrodollar. I don't think Donald Trump cares that much about the European war. Should he care about it? Perhaps he should care a lot about it. But I don't think he really cares too much about that. And you know what? You know what I wish? I wish our Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, went on the same way about our country as Donald Trump goes on about his country. I wish that Keir Starmer was UK-centric. I wish that his number one priority was this country, instead of worrying all the time about the borders of other countries. Perhaps we should be taking a leaf out of Donald Trump's book here and making the UK great again. Okay. And here's another clip we've got from the British media, again, seeking to demonise the Trump administration.
This was supposed to be a top-secret mission, but news of US strikes on Houthi rebels in Yemen were accidentally leaked to a journalist who'd been added to a group chat on a secure messaging app.
I assumed that I was being spoofed or hoaxed or being included in some kind of disinformation campaign because it was simply too improbable to me that they would have such poor operational security as to inadvertently invite the editor of The Atlantic into a national security discussion about the timing of a bombing campaign.
In that group chat were Vice President J.D. Vance, Defence Secretary Pete Hegseth and National Security Advisor Mike Waltz. They complained about bailing out Europe, debated the timing of the strikes and posted emojis when they were done. The President's National Security Committee confirmed the veracity of the group, but that didn't stop the Defence Secretary attempting to discredit the journalist.
You're talking about a deceitful and highly discredited so-called journalist who's made a profession of peddling hoaxes time and time again. Nobody was texting war plans, and that's all I have to say about that.
Hillary Clinton posted, "You have got to be kidding me."
So what you have there is a masterclass in sensationalism. So I'm going to give you an alternative news report which may be closer to the truth. So here we go. In other news today, President Trump, the God Emperor, and his minions took out some terrorists, which for some reason the world has been allowing to disrupt global supply lines and main trade routes of world companies, and in doing so has been putting up the cost of living for everyone on the whole globe. And we really need to be thanking the God Emperor and his minions today, because they've taken these terrorists out and free trade can flow again, which is going to reduce the cost for everybody around the world. Thanks, Mr. President. I always think, what is the net result of something? What's the result? So it was clear that a journalist was added to some group that a lot of high-ranking officials, security officials, people in charge of wars, people in charge of pressing the button were included. I'm sure that was a mistake, and that is a security breach without any doubt. But what was the result of it? Well, nothing. Nothing appeared to go wrong with the operation, as claimed there by Pete Hegseth. There were no battle plans put on there. There was talk of the strike, but it was actually, to put an American term on it, a big nothing burger. The press are sensationalising virtually every aspect of it. And one of the funniest things that I thought there was Hillary Clinton coming out, "You have got to be kidding me." Perhaps Hillary Clinton has quite a short memory, because I have a memory of Hillary Clinton scrubbing her servers that she had in her flat containing national security stuff, using personal mobile phones to speak to people all around the world when she was going round as Defence Secretary. Hillary Clinton is no arbiter of security here. She's already been shown to be quite useless in that regard. This whole thing, trying to discredit the Trump administration, it might take some of the shine off. They may drag some people through the mud. They may try their best to do something. It doesn't really matter. What's the end result of all of this? Well, Trump's going to see out his 4 years, and then he's going to go off into the sunset, into the history books. This is all just a tremendous waste of time, and I think that Sky News report there is essentially just a hit piece. And instead of our home reporting on all this stuff and getting really worked up about it, perhaps we should be getting really worked up about the fact that we don't even have a military to perform a strike on the Houthis. It's like an inversion of reality. It's very strange. And also, it does annoy me a lot. It annoys me what successive governments have done to our armed forces, because we really don't have any protection. Thanks very much for your time.